Hello and welcome to the eastern slopes of Micklebin. Micklebin is the highest point in the Kilsyth Hills. Now, what you see before you is the Carron Valley reservoir, which supplies most of Falkirk and Grangemouth's water needs. Very pretty looking scene, apart from one thing which I'm quite sure you can see in this kind of grey day, is wind turbines. First time I come up here, must be 18 months ago, there was about 7 turbines here. Now there are 23, and by the way the landscape is being destroyed, I think there's going to be a lot more than 23 very soon. Now, these things, it's a three-way triangle. The triangle consists of SNP government, greedy landowners, and hyper greedy energy companies. You know, the ones that continually put up your bills by 20% at a time. Now, wind turbines, according to the experts, professors and in energy production, will tell you these are one of the poorest forms of energy that you could possibly use. Also, one of the most expensive. Now, that doesn't matter to energy companies at all. It doesn't matter to the SNP government. They don't care. You're paying for it via your energy bills, so who cares? Now, what's happening in Scotland is we're seeing the closure of nuclear, gas and coal-fired power stations to rely on these very unpredictable sources of energy. Wind turbines, if it's too windy they don't turn, they switch them off because they could be damaged. There's low wind speeds, they don't turn, so there's no output. So it really does depend on ideal conditions, and Scotland's climate is anything but ideal at any time. It's very unpredictable. So these things added to an unpredictable climate make for very unpredictable energy sources. The biggest wind farm in Scotland is at 11 foot. And that consists of 152 highly visible land-based turbines. Huge amounts of land have been razed to the ground. All wildlife either killed or driven away to make room for these things. It's also something you can see directly from the motorway going to England, and it's a very distracting sight indeed, as well as a very ugly one. So we see the space in the middle here, and what I can see, you may not be able to see on camera, is these tall pylons that's used for measuring wind speed. So that means that area in the middle there will no doubt be filled with at least another 20-30 turbines. So this thing is going to grow quite large very soon. The view from far east there is the Ochil Hills. I've been in the Ochil Hills many times, and you can see these turbines very clearly from the Ochils. The Ochils also has turbines there. They have about 15 turbines up in the Ochil Hills, which look absolutely ugly and really destroy a wonderful area. Take this a look right off it. Again, you can see concrete tracks, concrete bases, bulldozed tracks, paths to every turbine, utter carnage. Now, countries like Holland and Denmark have all but covered their countries in turbines, and now they've discovered that they're facing an energy crisis. They know now, despite wasting billions and billions of pounds or whatever it is in their currency, that they're never going to be able to meet their energy demands from turbines alone. So despite having thousands of these things, they're facing energy shortage. The people of these countries are fed up with it, and the protests are becoming very heavy indeed, which will no doubt happen in a very short time here in the UK as well. So if the SNP government think they've got a big majority and they can do exactly what they like and just steam everything through, let them go ahead, but ultimately what it's going to cost them is their place at the next election, because this is going to become a huge issue for a lot of people. Pensioners freezing to death, people can't afford to turn the lights on because of the high cost of energy via these things. And never forget, and no matter how many of these things they put up, you pay for them. Greedy energy companies don't, greedy landowners don't, the SNP government don't, you do. You also pay it via your tax. Huge subsidies, millions and millions of pounds at a time where these things, turn or not, are paid out by by UK and Scottish government, adding to the absolute disgrace that this is. So it's easy to see why these things are springing up all over the place. It's all based in greed, nothing else but absolute blind greed. If there was no subsidies, these things would not be here. So let's pull the subsidies and let's get to producing energy that is reliable 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, instead of these useless things that destroy Scottish land. Forestry Commission maybe have something to answer for as well, because they're clearing huge areas of land to make way for these things. No doubt pockets are being lined between the two. Difficult to say, but it looks that way, doesn't it? Another disgrace. So last look at Carron Valley reservoir. Just ignore the turbines.